Maiolica was initially used as a way to compete with Chinese export porcelain. Porcelain was coming over to Europe from China, and the European potters did not possess the technology to create porcelain of their own. Therefore, Maiolica was designed as a glaze that would go over the red clay surface and look the same way and use similar decoration to the Chinese export porcelain. Step 1, I take my bisque plate and dip it into the tin glaze and coat the whole surface, and the tin glaze will act as the canvas, which I will do my painting on afterwards. So after I dip the piece, I'm going to go back in and just use some of the glaze on a brush and heal over the spots where my fingers were holding the piece while I dipped it. After I've let the glaze dry on the bisque piece for 24 hours, I'm going to come in with a sponge first of all and clean off the foot ring. And this is the portion of the plate that's going to be sitting on the kiln shelf when it's fired. And so I don't want glaze on that particular part of the piece because when the glaze melts, it becomes glass-like and it will stick to the kiln. I use an X-Acto knife to smooth out any drips or unevenness in the surface so that everything is smooth like a canvas to paint on. After I've smoothed the surface of the glaze, I use a gum mixture that I spray onto the surface of the glaze in order to make it a more smooth and brushable surface. Now my piece is ready to paint. I'm using cobalt oxide, and I have two concentrations of it. One is at full concentration, and that's going to give me that really strong cobalt blue color that we associate with Maiolica. And the other one is a more watered down version of the same cobalt oxide that I'm going to use more for shading. Maiolica is like a fresco in that after the surface is painted, it becomes quite fragile, and your fingers will smudge it if you touch it. So after I finish painting, I'm going to put the piece into the kiln and fire it to just over 1,000 degrees. And after I've let the kiln cool so that it's less than 500 degrees, I can bring the work out.